If you've ever worked with a student or your own child and they just say, I just don't like this. And it's like they're almost shaking the phone. I just don't like this, right? And it's really hard for them. And they begin to go into the whole stress activation cycle. And they're in this loop of not liking something because they just don't like it. And because they don't like it, the activity gets harder for them. I see this, and today I want to share with you something that is helpful when you're with that child in a situation. You may not be able to get the answer in that moment that they're feeling stressed because their mind-body system is in the yellow zone or it's in the orange. So you just can't get it in that moment. You want to make sure they come down first. But after they come down, talk to them, because even when, look, the boy's mom is in the session with us, okay? She's always there, which is wonderful. I want her to be there. And she can see what I'm doing with him, and she can model some things when I'm not there, so it's wonderful. And she can integrate the information. Mom is talking to him, trying to encourage him, and he hears nothing but words. I said, what do you hear Mom saying? He's saying some really good things. And I like to ask, what do you hear? Because it literally helps with checking the understanding of the child in that moment. Like, give me a phrase, give me a word, give me a color. What do you hear? You know? So I ask him, and he says words. And I'm like, oh man, he's really having a hard time. So I said to him, now we're playing this game. The game is word around, okay? Look it up, word around. And it's a game where you have to read the words. They're in a circular format. And it's really challenging for him. He is not happy about this activity. And at first he was excited to do it. We started off on a really great foot in the session. And we always have a great time together. But I do like to see the kids express some type of frustration so that I can see what it looks like, and then we can give them, some more tools to add to their framework of stress reduction. When he is in that state of stress, he doesn't want to say anything, and that's normal. At one point he's ready to storm off. And I shouldn't say storm off, but he's ready to walk away, but it was like a little bit of a storm. He wants to walk away and just go outside, because he said outside will be better than inside of here. Completely understand that, okay? And he then proceeds to walk out and say, can I get a verbal yes? And he says yes. I said, okay, So it's those little things that we can do to stay connected to the child. But I asked him, I said, Sonny, that's what I call all the kids when I refer to them on these videos. Sonny, is it that you can't read? Is that the challenge for you? And I said it in a tone where I'm meeting him. I'm not talking loud. I'm not talking for everybody else to hear me, but I want him to hear me. I'm speaking in a heart-to-heart tone. Is it that you can't read the words? That's when he gets up and walks away. It's not that he can't read, because he can read. The issue is that he can't read the words. He doesn't know where to start along the curve. Now, that's a whole word spiritually. Sometimes we just don't know where to put our eyes in order to make sense of what we are reading. And that's just life. That's why it's a wonderful game to incorporate, especially for people who are working with kids and you watch these videos. Word around, it's a great game to support with that, building that confidence and multiple levels of intelligence. So he is in that activated parasympathetic state, okay? And then I say to him, I'm so proud of you. And if you watched my short, you heard the story, but I'm telling you more in context. I said to him, I'm so proud of him because you're working through this challenge. It's not that you can't read, and I'm holding his hand. It's not that you can't read. It's that it's hard for you to read the words in this template. And when we're together, I want to teach him where to put his eyes so that he doesn't feel like it's impossible. Wow. Okay? That's how wonderful God is. God wants us to know where to put our eyes so that we can be successful in working through whatever challenge we have. It doesn't matter how much faith we have, we're always going to be challenged. The more faith you have, the more challenge you'll have. But guess what? God has given you his word so that you can be successful in every single situation. And in my prayer time yesterday, I received revelation on this in a new way. And I'm just like, wow, this is so exciting. He's given us his word so we can be successful in every situation. It's not just here and there. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. So I want you to be encouraged by that. Okay? Now, I recognize I did go into the spiritual encouragement. And I want to go back to the key here. The key is helping kids to decide what is it that they don't like about a certain activity. That way, they can determine how they're going to adjust themselves in that challenge. And you adjust yourself, you adapt yourself so you can stay in the window of tolerance and overcome the task. You can build tolerance for the challenging task. So with Sonny, with my student, it's not that he just doesn't like it. Today he may feel that way, but this week we're working on what is it that you don't like. Therefore, you can determine how you are going to engage with that very thing you don't like. And you may not have to engage with it. You may just need to recognize that it's something that you don't like, and now you can change the directions. It's really, really powerful. It's so powerful. You know, his brain is probably giving him a variety of messages in that moment, and the message of you can do this is going to seem really dim in comparison to you can't do this. And here are 5 reasons why you can't do it. You don't know where to put your eyes. You don't know where to start. Someone called out the answer before you, and now you feel like you can't do it, which means you don't like this because you can't do it, and you can't do it because you don't like it. And in that loop, when we can help kids recognize that they're in a certain feedback loop that's not helpful, then we can step out of the feedback loop and into one that is more helpful. Okay? I hope that this video gives you some ideas of how you can approach your child when their stress is activated, and you have some tools for helping them to manage their stress. Here's the key. Don't talk to them when they're all in the, if they're in the yellow, they may be able to talk a little bit, but if they're in the deep yellow towards orange, like canary yellow, okay, and they're moving towards the orange and the red, don't talk to them. Let them come down, okay? Can I get a verbal yes? Okay, that works, okay? Maybe not every child, but it worked for me with my student today. And his mom said, this is what happens. He gets really upset, and it's hard for him to recover. Challenges are part of life. Challenges are part of life. And I just said, it doesn't matter how much faith you have, you will be challenged. The greater the faith, the bigger the challenge, but you can overcome it. If your faith is big, you can overcome it, okay? And you got your faith in the right place, you can overcome it. I know that to be true. When children are facing a certain challenge, they don't know that they can do it in that moment unless they've had some experience at the previous level. Woo, that's good news. They can succeed when they're reminded that they succeeded at the previous level. Our jobs as loving adults is to remind them, you've done this before. Here's the context in which you've done it. Now, when they're in that canary yellow going towards tangerine orange and apple red, don't talk to them. Just let them, and they may not even be able to do any breathing in that moment. But letting them recognize where their contact points are, where are their feet, where are their hands, where is their bottom, being in a relaxed body, just being able to feel their bodies relax, and then being able to turn their neck, that helps to release the stress in that moment. And when they yawn, cry, laugh, giggle, when their eyes look like they're back in this present moment, then they've had some, they've been able to release some stress in that moment, okay? I bless you. I hope this is helpful for you, and I'll see you again soon. Let me know what you think.